Howdy and welcome to Roughlead. Today's story is called Emily and the Empty House. If you like to keep a pen or a piece of paper nearby, you might find something worth holding on to. Now settle in, it begins like this. The old wooden house stood at the edge of the valley. The paint was gone. The windows were covered with dust. The garden that once had flowers was now only dry earth. Emily stood on the porch with a small wooden box in her hands. Inside was the last thing she still had from her old life, a letter. She looked at it for a long time. Then she walked to the fire and threw it in. The flames took the paper slowly. Emily did not cry. That was the strange part. She had cried years ago. Now there was only silence. 3 days later, Emily arrived at Frank's farm. Frank was repairing a broken fence near the field. He did not look surprised when he saw her. "Morning," he said. Emily stood near the gate. "I need to ask you something." Frank placed the tool down, then asked. She looked toward the fields. "I have spent years holding on to something that is already gone." Frank waited. "My husband built that house with his own hands," she said. "Every wall, every door. He was gone 5 years ago." She looked down. "But I still live like he's coming back." Frank looked at the fence. One of the wooden posts was broken. "You know why I repair fences?" he asked. "Because storms don't care what was built before them." She looked at him. Frank picked up a broken wood. "A fence has to stand today." He placed the new piece into the ground, not yesterday. Emily was quiet. "That was all," Frank said. The next morning, Emily returned home. For the first time in years, she opened every window. Fresh air moved through the house. She cleaned the kitchen. She repaired the broken table. She planted new flowers outside. For a moment, it felt different. The house was not a grave anymore. It was a home. Emily smiled. Maybe Frank was right. Maybe she could move forward. Then the letter arrived. It was from the bank. The land was worth less than she thought. The house had too many repairs. If she could not pay, she would lose everything. Emily sat at the kitchen table, the same table her husband has built. The same table where they planned their future. Her old fear returned. She had not been protecting the house, she had been hiding inside it. That evening, Emily returned to Frank. He was feeding the horses. "I tried," she said. Frank nodded. "And?" "I opened the windows. I cleaned the house. I thought I was ready." She looked away. "But I might lose it anyway." Frank gave the horse some water. "Sometimes we think we are afraid of losing a thing." He looked at her. "But sometimes we are afraid of finding out who we are without it." Emily said nothing because she knew he was right. The next morning, Emily made a decision. She would sell the house, not because she hated it, not because it meant nothing, because it meant something. She wanted to remember the life she had, not spend the rest of her life waiting for it to return. The buyer arrived 2 weeks later. Emily packed her things. Before leaving, she stood on the porch one last time. She touched the wooden door, the same door her husband has built. "I hope you know," she whispered. "I kept it as long as I could." Then she closed it. Months later, Frank saw Emily again. She was riding into town. She had bought a small piece of land near the river. A smaller house, a new garden, a different life. Frank looked at the flowers growing beside her fence. They look healthy, he said. Emily smiled. They needed a new place. Frank nodded. Most things do. Emily never forgot the old house. She never stopped missing the person she lost. But she learned something. Holding on to the past does not always mean you are honoring it. Sometimes the greatest respect for what was is allowing something new to grow. Some doors never reopen, but you can't stop standing in front of them. What are your thoughts on these stories? Leave them in the comments below. And if you'd like to hear more stories from Frank, step a little closer to the fire, like, share and subscribe.